Today, you're stepping into the life chapter of an NBA star. NBA Finals, Game 7. 4 seconds left, down by 1. The ball is passed to you. Top of the key. Every effort has led to this moment. Every time spent at the gym. Every 5 a.m. workout. Every time someone said you were too short. You soar into the air. The ball cleanly leaves your fingertips. The ball is still in the air. The final buzzer has sounded. The ball rattles out. This is your journey through every stage of NBA life. Right now, you're just a kid on the blacktop. At 10 years old, on the court outside your Compton, California apartment. One hoop is fine, the other is crooked. You focus on practicing with the crooked one because it makes you stronger. Your older brother plays pickup every afternoon. They say you're too small to green and won't let you play. You sit on the sidelines, holding the ball. You watch their movements before they took a shot. You didn't know yet that this was called reading the game. One afternoon, your brother didn't come. There were 3 players, needing one more. Someone said he was just a kid. Another said, let him play. You played for 2 hours and scored 14 points. The one who had dismissed you earlier didn't say a word when it was over. He just nodded. That nod warmed you for an entire month. A local coach named Dennis came to watch you play in November. He told your mom, this kid's got talent. She asked, what does that mean for money? He said, not yet, but maybe later. He signed the agreement. At your first practice, all the other kids had new shoes. You were still wearing the pair you'd had for 8 months. In the first drill, you were the fastest one on the court. No one mentioned the shoes anymore. Dennis drove you to practice twice a week, which was like spending his own salary on you. You became a high school star. At 16, you signed up as Compton High's starting point guard. You were listed at 1.85 meters. But you were actually only 1.83 meters. You knew it. And every scout with a tape measure knew it too. In your sophomore season, you averaged 26 points, 9 assists, and 4 steals. Every Friday, the gym was packed. The local paper ran your photo twice. Your mom cut them out and taped them to the fridge. In February, Nike sent a representative to your school, not for you, but for a 2.03 meter power forward. But after watching the entire game, when it ended, he asked the coach about the point guard. The coach told him your name. The representative wrote it down. 2 weeks later, you received a letter from Duke University. Then Kentucky, Kansas, and then 11 more schools. Your mom read each letter at the dining table. She held Duke's letter and stared at it for a long time. ESPN ranked you 14th among high schoolers nationwide. The comments section all said you were too short for higher level play. You screenshotted every comment, saved them to a folder on your phone, and named it Fuel. By graduation, it had 47 entries. You chose Kentucky. With a full scholarship, room, board, and tuition were all covered. For the first time in 11 years, your mom quit her second part-time job. You became a college player. The cost of Kentucky's practice facility was more than your entire neighborhood. The first day you walked into the arena, you stood frozen in the middle of the court for 10 seconds. Before anyone noticed you, the head coach held extra practices 3 times a week at 5 a.m. They called it voluntary, but everyone went. Those who didn't go immediately dropped in the rotation. You quickly realized voluntary meant mandatory. Mandatory means a crazy fight for survival. Elite 8, facing Kansas. Down by 12 with 9 minutes left. The coach called a timeout to draw up a play. You glanced at the whiteboard and knew the play wouldn't work. But you didn't say anything. The play collapsed in 6 seconds. The ball still ended up in your hands. In the final 9 minutes, you went off for 19 points. Kentucky narrowly won by 4 points. In the locker room, a teammate said, "You were absolutely insane out there." You replied, "I was just playing." He looked at you, as if you were speaking an alien language. In the Final Four, you faced the 6 feet 4 inches National Defensive Player of the Year. You erupted for 34 points. The very next morning, NBA draft talks began. At the end of your freshman year, you declared for the draft. At 19, your coach said you should play another year. Your agent, you have an agent now, said opportunity knocks once. You chose to trust your agent, who'd never played, over the coach who guided you daily. This was your first compromise. It wouldn't be your last. NBA draft predictions had you in the top 12 of the first round. Some boards even ranked you 8. You became an NBA rookie. On draft night at Barclays Center, your mom sat in the front row. wearing the gown she'd bought 3 weeks prior. She'd worn it twice at home. You were selected 9th overall by the Brooklyn Nets. You walked onto the stage. The commissioner shook your hand. The hat was a little big. A rookie contract? $4.8 million over 2 years. Your mom cried in the family section. You held it together on stage, but broke down completely once in the car. Your first NBA practice, the pace was entirely different. Not just faster, it's sharper. Every decision you make. Your opponent has already countered. Marcus, a veteran who'd played for 12 years, pulled you aside after the 3rd day of practice. You're thinking too much, he said. I'm trying to learn, you replied. You already know, he said. It took you 6 weeks to understand what he meant. Your rookie season averaged 11 points and 6 assists. You were named Rookie of the Month in February. The 2 short voices quieted, but they never disappeared. They just faded into the background. In April, on national TV against the Lakers, you dropped 31 points. After the game, LeBron found you and said 3 words. You've never told anyone what they were, and you don't need to. On the drive home, you replayed them over and over, each time with a different feeling. In the off-season, the Nets signed you to a 3-year extension for $22 million per year. You bought your mom a house? Not a check, a house. On Tuesday, you drove her there, parked outside, and handed her the keys. She stood on the front steps. For a long time without going in, you became the starting core. You were 22 years old, the team's starting point guard. You initiated every offense, averaging 23 points and 10 assists. 3rd in MVP voting. The 2 short folder on your phone had accumulated 200 entries. You stopped updating it 8 months ago. You no longer needed it. Playoffs against the Bucks. Game 5. You were hounded all night by their best defender, scoring only 8 points in 38 minutes. Your worst playoff performance ever. After the game, the locker room was silent. Reporters asked what happened. He was better than me tonight, you said. This honesty shocked everyone. Coaches, teammates, the media. No one expected someone of your fame to say that. That night, you watched 4 hours of game footage, finding 7 areas for improvement. Then, you fixed each one. In Game 6, you scored 41 points. In Game 7, 38 points. The Nets advanced. In December, All-Star voting began. You ranked 6th in guard votes. You were chosen by coaches for the reserve roster, your first All-Star selection. You saw the news on your phone in the gym. You sat alone in the empty arena for 15 minutes. Just you, the court, and the quiet. You called your mom. She already knew. She saw it on Twitter. She said Dennis called you. Your former AAU coach. You called him back. The call was only 4 minutes. You barely remember most of it. But that feeling, you'll never forget it. $26 million a year. You became an all-star. You were selected to the all-star team 3 times. An all-star starter. The league built marketing campaigns around you. Your jersey sales were top 5 globally. Kids in Compton wore your number. Kids in Tokyo wore your number 2. Your first time in the NBA Finals against the Heat. Down 0-2 after the first 3 games. The whole city was quiet. The locker room even quieter. The coach said all the right things. You weren't listening, just staring. During warm-ups, you found that feeling indescribably. A sudden breakthrough. You scored 44 points, 11 from the top of the key. The series momentum shifted. Game 7, 4 seconds left, top of the key. You know what happened next? The ball rimmed out. The buzzer sounded. The Heat celebrated on your home court. You stood at the top of the key for 11 seconds. The camera zoomed in on your face. You didn't flinch. You let them film. From playing under a crooked hoop at age 10. You'd always been preparing for public failure. You shook hands with everyone, found the opposing core players, and genuinely congratulated them. In the players' tunnel, you walked past your mom's seat. She reached out and touched your arm. You didn't stop. If you had stopped, you might not have been able to keep going. Annual salary, $38 million. Your first finals trip had made you the team's face. You signed a max contract at 27, earning $52 million annually. At the time, it was the largest empty slot contract in NBA history. The Nets rebuilt around you, sending out 4 players and 2 first-round picks to find you help. The pressure was as heavy as a building structure. They built this skyscraper for you. Now it's up to you to support the whole building. A new teammate arrived at training camp. He was 21, a sophomore. 1.88 meters tall, and the fourth pick. In the first practice, he cleanly beat you twice and won. It was flawless. You saw the coaching staff exchange a look. Just a look. You took note of it. Said nothing. After practice, you returned to the gym alone. For 90 minutes of extra training, specifically targeting the moves he used, the season started well. But in December, your hamstring tightened up. A minor strain. 2 weeks out, you returned in 3 days. During your absence, the team went 7-4. 7-4. You studied that record more diligently than any opponent's tape. In February, during All-Star Weekend, you were selected as an All-Star starter for the 5th time. That younger teammate was chosen as a reserve. During the player introductions, his cheers were louder. Not by a lot, but definitely louder. You heard it. In a quiet room, you hear everything. And now, all rooms have become quiet. You averaged 28 points and 10 assists per game, 4th in MVP voting. A brilliant season. But after the trade deadline passed, management made no moves. They said they believed in the current roster. You understood the unspoken words. A salary of $52 million per year. The number means nothing. The record is everything. You started to decline. At 30, you injured your hamstring, which meant the training staff began to limit your playing time. An average of 32 minutes per game, down from 36 minutes previously. The coach, euphemistically, was complying with management. You knew exactly what was happening. In the final moments of close games, the ball started going to the younger teammate more often. Not every time, but there was a first time you stood 4.5 meters away, watching him hit the game. The crowd erupted. You clapped symbolically, your heart completely unmoved. After the game, you told him, "Good shot." You truly meant it. And that sincerity was the hardest part. Your stats. 21 points, 8 assists, still all-star caliber. The coach didn't put you on the recommendation list, but the fans still voted you into the All-Star game. The coach had a point, and so did the fans. The Nets offered a 2-year extension, $38 million per year, down from the previous $52 million. Your agent said it was disrespectful. You signed within 48 hours. Stay in the league long enough, and you'll understand. The next contract never quite comes as you expect. But you're not done yet. You haven't finished playing. You want to let everyone know. In the final month of the season, you hit 2 games. Outside opinions started to shift slightly. Opinions will always swing. What doesn't change is your hamstrings are tight every morning. Before they finally loosen up, you need 20 minutes of treatment before practice now. Something you never needed before. With a $38 million annual salary, that fuel document still lists 200 items. You reopened it for the first time in 3 years. You came to the Nets in the middle chapter of your career. There was no contract extension. The phone call was polite. Management thanked you for everything you've done. And you thanked them back. You had created something together here. Both sides knew it well. But no one said it directly. You received 2 offers, one from a championship contender, for the veteran minimum, needing leadership. The other from a rebuilding team, offering a starting spot and an $8 million annual salary. You chose the championship contender, not for the money, but for a championship ring. Just for that one thing. You played 58 games off the bench, averaging 14 points per game. Young players would come to you after practice with questions. You patiently answered each one. You remembered what Marcus told you back then. Don't over. You told it to different kids in different ways, watching them understand, just like you did back then. Game 6 of the conference finals. In the 3rd quarter, you came off the bench. The score was tied. In 6 minutes, you dropped 11 points. Your team took the lead and held on to the win. Advancing to the finals, NBA Finals, Game 7, you didn't start. You played 19 minutes. Your team won by 8 points. The final whistle blew. You were on the court. Someone put a championship hat on you and handed you a championship tee. Confetti rained down from above. You stood in the center, looking up. 15 years, 1,140 games, 27,000 points, 8,900 assists, 1 ring, 1 finals loss. That shot at the buzzer, forever etched in your memory. Champagne sprayed everywhere in the locker room. A rookie found you in the corner. He said he grew up watching you play, and that you inspired him to play basketball. You looked at him for a moment, then told him to go celebrate. After he left, you sat alone for a while, thinking of the gym that cost more than the whole block, thinking of that crooked hoop in Compton, thinking of the folder with 200 notes. thinking of that 4-minute call with Dennis Natton. Then you stood up and walked out. The lights were still on, but somewhere else, a 10-year-old kid at a crooked hoop in a Compton parking lot was shooting hoops alone until the sun went down. A long, long time. The cycle had begun again.